Hello friends, welcome to our video tutorial. In this tutorial, I will simply try to explain how hosting works. So suppose you have a website. So we have our website here, and this website you can see we have created using WordPress, and this website is currently hosted on a local host, and only those people who have access to our computer can see this website, right? So now I want other users to see my website. For that, what I have to do, so I simply have my website files here. So in my C drive XAMPP folder, I have my website files here. So these files are basically the reason why my website is working. So whenever I open a website, because of these files and the database, my website is working and looking like that. So now I need a server or a web host. So these are my files. I also have a database, and all my files and my database are inside my computer. Now I need a web host. So this web host will work as a server. A server is something that serves basically, right? So this web host has an IP address. It has an IP address because this web host is connected to the internet. So this web host is basically connected to the internet. So from my local computer, I will transfer these files to my web host. This web host is connected to the internet, and now people from different parts of the world that are connected to internet. So these are the people from different parts of the world. So they all have internet access. So they will simply visit the internet. They will type the IP address, and whatever files we have transferred to this web host or server, these files will now be visible to them also. So the main important thing is this IP address. So this web host is also like a computer. So it has RAM, it has hard disk, it has a processor, but it is something that is always on. Means you can also host your website using your laptop or computer also, but you can see visitors can visit your website any time of the day, and for that your computer should always be on, and then you have to install some additional softwares in your computer, or different type of operating systems in your computer to convert your laptop or computer into a web host. But there are service providers who provide these services for very low cost. Some of them also provide these services for free also for trying and testing. So a web host is basically a service provider which will take your files. So they will ask for your files and database. So you will upload your files and database in their server. They will give you an IP address, and then users will visit that IP address using their computers, because they are also connected to internet, and this web host is also connected to internet, and then they'll be able to see those files and or your website that you have transferred from your local host to your web host. So this is how internet or how hosting works. And now we have to see names of some hosting providers. So if you will go to wordpress.org itself, here you will see it is suggesting there are hundreds of thousands of web hosts out there, the vast majority of which meet the WordPress minimum requirements. So They are kind of suggesting these three names here: Bluehost, DreamHost, and SiteGround. But it is not necessary to go for them. They are suggesting them, so you can click on any hosting provider's name and you can look for their pricing and services. So again, I am not associated with any one of them. Let's say a very big name in domain name and hosting business is GoDaddy. So let's open their website just to understand uh, what they are doing. So you can see, because I am visiting this website from India, so in.godaddy.com is opening. Suppose you are visiting this website from any other country, so you might see a different domain name and different pricing here in your currency. Here you can find your domain name. So a domain name is something, so you can see this is IP address, right? But IP address is something like this. So IP address of your local host is something like this: 192.168.1.1. IP address on internet is in something like this: 123.234.123. So IP address on internet is something like this, something like this. So if you will visit this IP address, so again, this might be a valid IP address, so it may open a website. But remembering these IP address is very much different, difficult, you can say, because there are thousands of websites and remembering their IP address is very difficult. So instead of remembering their IP address, or instead of typing their IP address, we simply remember their domain name. So a domain name is, you can say, easy to remember IP address or easy to remember web address. For example, it is easy to remember slidescope.com, or it is easy to remember google.com than if you will see IP address of Google. So we are not going with that. So uh, remembering the IP address of any particular domain is always difficult than remembering its simple domain name. And what is this com here? This com.net. So things like this are there, like .net, .com, .org. These are the domain name extensions. So these domain name extensions are for different type of website. For example, net stands for network, com stands for commerce or commercial websites, org stands for organizations, or you can say NGO websites. Then there is country code domain name also. So .in is a country code domain name which is for India. Similarly, we have .us. So these are country code top level domains. These are top level domains, TLDs. It is also known as TLD, and these things are known as CCTLD. So everything exists here. So you can type, let's say, CCTLD. So you will see that this is a country code top level domain. If you will search for TLD, it is simple a top level domain. So now you can go to a website like GoDaddy. From here you can search for a domain name, my domain name, which is good. So I am typing a long domain name here, but you can see exact match domain name is available here. So it is suggesting me two domain names: my domain name, which is good.com, and my domain name, which is good.in. So either I can add this to my cart or this to my cart, or I can buy both. So it is telling me that it is available for 199 if I will buy it for 2 years. So 199 is approximately equal to $2.5, I will say. So you can see other domain name extensions also, XYZ live something. So you can buy these domain names from any particular website. There is GoDaddy there, then there is Big Rock. So in India we use this website also many times. So we have Big Rock here. So from here also you can see different prices for different type of domain names are written here. So again, domain is the choice of our client. Domain depends upon choice of our client, choice of our choice also. Suppose if we are creating website for ourselves. So this is something about domain name. Then comes the hosting part. So let's get back to the this part, or let's open Bluehost here, which they are suggesting. I'm mentioning this once again. I'm not associated with any one of them. So if you have to buy these domain names, if you have to buy these hosting services, which you have to buy eventually, so make sure you read their terms and conditions carefully, and make sure you have watched all the offers. Sometimes they provide coupons also. So always look for coupons for discount. So let's say GoDaddy coupons 2021. So you can find some websites where they will give you promo code and coupons. So using those coupons, you can always get some handy discount. So this is Bluehost. It is good for WordPress hosting. And here you can see in hosting also we have shared hosting, we have WordPress hosting. So because we are studying WordPress, so we will see WordPress hosting plans. So this is a WordPress hosting plan, and it is in USD, and you can see a basic, which is ideal for a blog or a small site. So this hosting is of 2.95 per month. And here is one important thing here. This hosting provider is also providing a free domain name with its hosting. So while registering this hosting, you will get a free domain name also. You will get 50 GB of SSD storage. You will get custom themes and support. Now let's select this. Let's see where it takes us. So here you can see either you can use your own domain name. Suppose you already have a domain name. So or suppose you are creating a website for a client and your client already has a domain name. So you can mention its domain name here, and my domain name, which is good.com. So we can create a new domain name anytime. So with our hosting package, you can say it is available. You have to mention your first name, last name, business name is optional, country, street address, and so on, email address. Now this is the tricky part. The hosting price is $106, which is 2.95 for 36 months, and if you will select 1 month price, it is actually 9.99 for 1 month. So for 12 months it is 35. So you have to choose different type of plans here, and whatever plan suits you. Then they are providing some other services like domain privacy. Suppose we don't want it, then code guard basic. This is some tools here. This is security essential and so on. So total is now $35.40, and now we can pay. So again, before making payment, please compare plans of different type of hosting providers that are here. You can talk to their support anytime. You can call them, you can chat with them, you can ask for discounts. So choosing a good hosting is always good, because a good hosting provider will provide maximum uptime of your website. That means when users will type domain name, so your website will always be available. A good hosting service also provides a better website loading speed also. Website loading speed is also very important for SEO purpose. So again, you can. This is a very basic description of hosting. I am not going in a very complicated description. You have files in your computer. So this is our file. Then we also have a database, because we are learning WordPress here. So we cannot ignore the database, which is very important part. So these files are basically responsible for all the logic and the design that you are seeing here. So the logic and the design is provided by these files. So these images are stored in our WordPress file. So for example, in WP content, you can see we have plugins, we have themes. So whatever plugins we have installed are there in WP content. Whatever themes we have installed, so we have installed Agency Light theme. So this is inside our WP content folder. Inside Agency Lights, you can see all these other type of files. So so we have these other type of files in the themes. In WP content, you can see an uploads folder. In uploads folder, you will see we have the 2018, 19, 20, and 21. These are the years. For 2021, for June month, we have all these images, right? So we upload image in one size, but WordPress automatically converts it into different size of images because it has to show the website in different devices. So it picks images accordingly. So you can see all these files are here, right? So all these files are here in our computer. All, and the database is also here in our computer. This is the database. This is our site DB database. In our database, we have these tables. You don't have to understand MySQL for this. Just consider that this database is something where all your posts and pages are stored. So if you will go to post part, you will see whatever pages we have created. So we have created blog page, we have created what is WordPress page, PHP course, whatever pages you have created, whatever images you have uploaded, the users that are there in our website, the WP user. You can see we are using this user from the beginning, coffee user. So whatever user is there, so you can see all these things are there uh, in our computer, right? It is there in our local host. Now we will buy a hosting from some company like Bluehost or GoDaddy or BigRock or any other hosting provider that you already know. And what we have to do, we have to transfer all these things, files and databases, to the web host or the server. This web host will make sure that their computer is always on 24/7, 365. Their computer will be on. Our files will be hosted on their end. They will install all the necessary softwares that are needed to make our website look as it is looking right now. So they will install something like XAMPP or something like Apache server and MySQL server on their end also, right? So a hosting provider will have Apache server, MySQL server on their end also. That's why they can serve our website. And then when our website will be transferred here, and they will give us one IP address, which is the most important part. And they will give us some name servers that we have to add in our domain name. That this particular thing will be discussed in the later part, but they will they will be connected to the internet itself, and our domain name will be added in the hosting. And when someone will open our domain name, so they will actually see our website. So this is how hosting works. I think I have explained you the basic meaning of domain name and hosting and everything. Now in the next part, I will show you some domain names that I have already purchased. So I have purchased, for example, I have purchased this domain name Bazaar on web. I have purchased some domain names. So this is our domain name. Here I have a blog. So I have purchased different type of domain names, and so in the next part I will show you how we can transfer this website from our local hosting to one web hosting. And I have purchased web hosting from one of these providers. So I have purchased web hosting from one of these service providers, and I will transfer my domain name. I will transfer all these settings from here to there in the hosting, and you will learn the process of doing that. Whatever hosting you buy, whatever domain you buy, the things will be pretty much similar. So you just have to look for options that are available in your hosting.